Welcome to Is It Covered, where we break down real stories and answer the big question, is it covered? Hosted by father and son duo Bruce and Brian Chapman of the J.D. Chapman Insurance Agency. This podcast will help you navigate the world of insurance with stories, tips, and answers that really matter. From personal to commercial coverage, we've got you covered. Now, let's get started.
Okay, welcome back to another exciting episode of Is It Covered, the podcast where we talk all about insurance claims and whether they're covered or not, and what kind of insurance ramifications there are for that. And who says insurance is boring, right, Brian?
It can be exciting.
Yeah, and look at us dressed today, man, with our concert T-shirt things, and yeah, there you go. And so today's episode is all about instruments and bands and how what happens if someone gets all their stuff stolen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of you and I enjoy going to music and concerts, and oftentimes I feel like we're sitting and chatting and saying, oh, I wonder how the lighting's done, or I wonder how this is done. I feel like maybe we've talked about this topic before.
Probably, yeah. But I don't remember.
But about the instruments, must have been a good concert.
Yeah.
So here's a little scenario for you, right?
Okay.
Let's say you just form a band. It's the JD and the Chapmans.
Okay.
And you've got, horns, and you've got your bass player and drums, everything that goes into a big, let's say, 12-piece band. Like
totally cool band.
Like a Tedeschi Trucks kind of
Absolutely,
thing, where it's nice and, big sound, lots of instruments. You finish your show, you finish your gig, you get everything loaded into your van or, trailers, whatever it is. You think they're in a secure area, but you wake up the next morning to get on the road to go to the next show, and you're taking an inventory, and everything is cleared out. All your instruments are gone, all your drums, saxophones, everything that you need to perform and to be a band.
That next show is going to suck pretty bad.
Yeah, you got people you need to go and perform for.
For sure.
It gets interesting on this one. So is there insurance specifically for these instruments or for the band, or what capacity does insurance respond to this? And I guess how would you cover the instruments?
Absolutely. So I think that there are a couple of things at play here. One is, are you just kind of a guy that goes out and does some gigging, and you have a few guitars? And in that case, you could schedule or list those items, your instruments, oftentimes on a homeowner's policy. There are limitations for business use for musical instruments. But if you okay that, like anything, you talk about it, you tell your agent, you get that okayed up front, and you let them know what you're doing, you could probably put that on your personal auto policy or personal home policy.
Yeah.
But go ahead, you were going to say something.
Well, I know that a lot of bands will have some form of like an entity that they form, like an LLC or something like that. And I don't know if those entities actually end up owning the equipment. Typically, most musicians own their own equipment personally.
Right.
But I guess if on the off chance it was owned by the business or the corporation, could you insure them on like an inland marine policy, or how does that work?
Yes, I would say you'd have a whole separate policy for the band, and you'd have a policy called an inland marine policy, more insurance techno garbage. And what that means, it's just a means of a policy that covers tools and equipment like musical instruments.
Right. Worldwide, wherever it might end up going.
Typically, at least within the country. I mean, if you're a big band, you're touring worldwide, you'd want to make sure you had that kind of coverage.
Gotcha. Okay. So when it comes down to it, then if I'm in a band or if I'm gigging and I got, a sweet guitar like the one behind me here, and I'm out and it gets stolen, is there coverage for something like that?
If you have it on a policy, there is.
If not, you might be out. Right?
I'd say you're, as they say, SOL, buddy. You're done. There's no coverage for that.
Yeah, you're going to have to be playing the next show with your hands and hope that you make money.
That's right. The acapella show.
That's right. Yeah, nobody else.
JD and the Chapman's acapella.
That's right.
Style.
So with that, then, would you say that this has depending on how it's breaks down, is it covered?
With the right coverage and it's stolen, I would say absolutely that would be covered.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, as always, everybody, we thank you for paying attention and listening. Hopefully you get some value out of this. Please, by all means, send us your claims, ideas, even if it's a scenario that you've just thought of when you're, getting ready in the morning. We'd love to break those down. We'd like to use our brains on that. And you can send those directly to brian@jdchapmaninc.com.
And then keep in mind also, it's a good idea to have open communication with your agent, to let them know what you're doing, just to make sure that you have coverage for that, because not everything is covered.
Perfect. As always, till the next one.
All right. See
Thanks,
you later.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Is It Covered podcast. To learn more about how J.D. Chapman can assist you with all your insurance needs, please visit our website at jdchapmaninc.com or call us at 315-986-4062. J.D. Chapman, we've got you covered. This podcast provides general information only and does not offer or bind insurance coverage. Coverage cannot be changed or confirmed through this podcast, email, voicemail, or fax. Insurance only takes effect once confirmed by a licensed agent. For specific coverage details, please call us at 315-986-4062. All coverages are subject to the terms, conditions, and exclusions of the issued policy, which may vary by state. This podcast does not provide legal, tax, or financial advice. Please consult a professional for those needs. Links to other sites are provided for convenience. We don't control or endorse their content. Any claims scenarios discussed are hypothetical. Coverage decisions depend on the specifics of each case.